Okay, so hello, we're live. This is Brenda Power. I'm a medicine woman. And this is Medicine Woman Solution. The energy seems to be a bit off today. And just waiting for the other part of the show to start. And when the window appears, then I will continue the show. Oh, the feeling is off. I'll explain that in a few minutes. So just bear with me as we go into the next. As soon as Amy mutes that so I don't have to hear it. Hello, everybody. I am Brenda Power. I am a medicine woman. And my energy feels a little bit shaky. Had an interesting morning, I should say. So when I'm working with spirit, I'm always asking, like how to solve something, discover something, move into the next phase of whatever it is that I need to download. And apparently your mother's here, Amy. Tell her to stop.
Mom, stop cleaning Brenda's hair for crying out loud. She's trying to do a show.
So what happens is for that one, there's two tell signs, so Amy knows that her mother's here. She'll play with my hair, or she'll rub my lips. And it's not that I can't stop her; it's just that I need to concentrate. And I appreciate her acknowledging her daughter. So I teach class, and one of the things in the pilot class has been people are beginning to discover who they are, but they're also beginning to see behind the veil of the ego. And they're beginning to hear the terminology, the language, and have a lot of examples of how this works. One of my friends, it's a client, I contemplated over the question is like, how do humans function? So as I'm listening to how humans function, I'm looking at your energies, the meridians and the emotions, and then your entanglement cords. And I can see them. So I could always see something triggered in you can see overthinking. You can see not just overthinking, but you see the high beta. Oh, this thing is going to go nuts all of a sudden. Hold on. Talk about distractions. That's another clue. It's another clue. It's distractions. You have to look at how to speak and control without losing it. We are so used to losing it. We're so used to just being fed up. We're so used to not knowing that we're a program. How can you function and do certain things without, losing it or being the result, the end result of an issue? What do I mean by that? Very simply, if you have an emotion and you have a reaction, you have a mood, a temperament, the temperament comes from having a mood swing, and the attitude comes from having that particular moment happen, and that emotion occurs. It's unresolved, so it gets stored, or it becomes an active memory. And when that occurs, that's the past, but it will always overlay in the now if there's triggers, or if it hasn't been resolved, so it'll stay going. So what does that mean? It means that if you have those emotions, it's an end result of a past experience. So if you're like flying off the handle, that is an end result from a past experience. And your body's just playing it out. Your soul is asking you to heal it out. What if you don't know these things? What if you, honest to God, don't know these things? So part of what I do is it's like, okay, I'm looking at people. How can I help them? How can I be of service? What does that mean? And I was in my spirit mind watching TV, and I could think about was how this beautiful woman seems to keep enduring over and over the hardship, triggers everywhere. And your body starts trembling with the emotion. Then it goes up and starts controlling your thoughts, because your thoughts don't have to go nuts until the emotion goes off. And because I know this, it can make a big difference in people's lives. And right now you probably can tell that, oh, she doesn't seem like herself. Well, that's because I can feel it. I can feel it just enough that it really is pushing that energy field, and it's pushing it just enough that it's my body's saying, we want to show you that the body can do this. And I don't care how many years you've been working, you're still human. This is a live experience, a live meditation, an ego experience, an ego's lesson. And spiritually, I'm experiencing this right now, and it's going to go deeper. But as I watch this woman go through all this particular hell, I'm like, what's this all about? So I asked that thought, and I said, thank you, Spirit, for the answer. Because I can't seem to find the right healing tool. And I know I have the right one, but what am I missing? How can I help this person go further? What haven't I found in myself yet? What haven't I experienced yet to have that knowledge to help her go into the next phase of what she needs to do? And then I fell asleep. Now I woke up because my husband had dreamt some numbers and they were just haunting him. So he goes and writes them down. And I woke up and I said, oh, you okay? He goes, yeah, I'm fine. I said, oh, wonderful. Great. Perfect. Now this was 6 a.m. and so I went back to sleep. But I know I couldn't go back to sleep. My heart rate, usually when you can't go back to sleep, your heart rate, you can't drop lower than your resting heart rate. That's if you use a Fitbit. And my heart rate's dropped, but my thoughts are going nuts. And so then they keep saying, what's the gallbladder? The gallbladder meridian. It's going nuts. And I said, okay, what does that mean? And then I thought I was not resting, but apparently I must have took that, because that's connected to this person I love that's having this issue. And I woke up this morning. Here I am. I remember tons of it. I can't understand why my aunt's there. I can't understand all of it. But the end of the dream is what was most important. I was happy. I saw some buttons and I accidentally triggered the wrong one. Now, I'm in this like compartment, shapes around your body. Just enough room, just enough room. And I'm sitting down. There's seats in front of me like an airplane. And I remember laughing and joking, and I pushed the button. It's supposed to be the flush button, but I wasn't on a toilet. But all of a sudden I seen this discoloration as if it was a number 2. And I'm like, oh, but then all of a sudden clear water just started gushing so fast. So that's hysterical. And in the movie The Matrix, the metal starts to come up. It's like, oh my God, it's going to touch me. It's like I've had bugs on me that crawl so fast. You're like, oh my God. And I remember trying to resolve. So I'm looking over here. I'm looking over there. I'm freaking out because I know the cabin that whatever I'm in is this thick. There's no way to punch through it. The window was about this thick. There's no way to open that. There is no way to get out of this space. It's happening. That's the key words. It's happening. And I don't care how amount of hystericalness, it's not going to solve the issue. I can't stop it from happening. I have to endure. So it's happening and endure are two of the emotions that are coming out. You can't resolve this. You're enduring. To the point where it's freaking me out. I mean, I really thought I was going to drown to death. I was just, that's it. That it woke me up and I could feel it in my nerves. I mean, literally, I could feel it in my nerves shaking. Went to the bathroom, came back, began to heal it out, and they kept saying, the gallbladder. The gallbladder says it's happening. I says, yeah, I can hear that. It's very loud. It isn't changing. And it happened out of nowhere. The key was I was happy. It's my fault. I triggered it somehow. I triggered something somehow. In my youth, there was plenty of things like my sister told me the time where, and she's only 5 years older than me, and I remember like 3 or 4, I ran outside and my dad was on the tractor and he got very angry at her, took it out on her. I mean, he wasn't, it's physical, mental, and emotional abuse. And, I could feel my sister feeling this. I witnessed it. It's happening. Can't stop it. Then as I grew older, there's also the incident that I started seeing toilet paper. Now, I don't like toilet paper or tissue on the floor. I don't like it wet. That's even worse. Now, I did a big healing on this, but there's all these coincidences of spiritual investigation. The rain has blown out our electricity, so we can't turn in any overhead lights. We have to get this fixed. And electricity is connected to the thoughts. Water is connected to emotions. And I'm like, ooh. So there's that. Then I saw toilet paper marks or tissue marks. I'm like, what's that? What's up with all this tissue? So this is putting it on the shelf. Every time I have had bad experiences, they come out of nowhere. I mean, literally came out of nowhere. And they just, boom, they shock you. From accidents to people's words to aggression, it comes out of nowhere. And each time I was happy. I mean, like I was talking to my ex one time. I was so super excited. I had just gotten my business, my building, and I'm getting ready to. And then he turns around and tells me, I don't care what you do. I don't want to be a part of it. I don't like you. I don't like what you believe in. I just don't talk about this stuff in front of me. And it shocked me. I remember getting reamed on when my mother, would always say I was clumsy, but then I must have spilt something and then I got yelled at. It's the people that you love or you think people should love you. Like I had this woman I never knew, but she hated me just because I reminded her of somebody else. And she dumped on me. And I'm like, it's unexpected. It's out of nowhere. I mean, her and her husband did a ferocious thing to me. These are the big clues. One of the big clues is that I was happy. You can't be happy because the other shoe is going to drop. Now, that wasn't always my belief. So you have these clues that happen all the time, but it's happened. It happened is what the dream was telling me. And there was all these gems and tidbits in this dream. And it's still quite fresh. But I still knew I had to do a show today, and I don't want to waste this. So I haven't had a chance to really deeply heal this because there's more layers, because I had worked on one part of my gallbladder. Now, why do I care? Well, the gallbladder meridian runs through the head, down the back, and off the second toe on both sides of the body, and at key points in the back. Now, the key points in the back, where the points, the acupuncture points are, that's where the scoliosis is. I've lost my gallbladder organ. My face is, you can see the difference. One side is definitely different than the other. And this has just happened, this facial thing has just happened in the last couple of years. So I'm literally seeing things change. It's bizarre, but it's important for you to understand that when these events happen, there is a reason for them. Why is this happening to me? You know, people don't realize the negative thinking or the negative talk. Now, people say, well, that's just talking. When I say negative, I mean it's a positive or negative. And when it vibrates, it's the frequency that drops, and then the vibration of that drops, it affects you physically to the point where you'll actually have a missing musical note. The musical notes can go up and down, and if you're like, musical notes, yeah, just like when you're tuning an instrument, like a guitar or a piano. If any of those notes are off, you're going to feel it and you're going to know it. C and B are a physical aspect, and then you have I think it's D, E, and F that are more mental or more emotional, and the G and the A's are more mental. But overall, it creates a spiritual experience. So I used to have this machine, and I'm going to invest into it again. But I could say something happy, say something stressful, and I can't remember, there was the 3 questions, and literally it would show you what voice patterns you have. During stress, your frequency of the note will completely change because of vibration. Like, I will miss a certain note that belongs to my 5th chakra. I have watched, because I've done other shows, I was able to compare 7 years ago voice with this year's voice, and you can hear the different octaves. Physically, I've gotten healthier. It's so mesmerizing to understand about frequencies, energies, and things. And it's so important to understand how you are put together, because you keep coming to me and saying, what's my future? You know, will my future? And your future, if you're worried about your future, that means you have worry that's grounded from the past that needs to be resolved. I was trained by spirit to be able to read the energy cords, the entanglement cords, to all of the experiences that are unresolved. And it's the important bits that were important, which is the emotion. And you can kind of see the thought patterns. There's layers upon layers of all this. That I was also designed to take healing tools, resolving tools to help you to upgrade, to be able to resolve, to evolve, to learn how to go within and heal your stuff so that you can become more of a sustainable human. Instead of thinking, oh my God, I have to endure this. Oh my God, my only choice is hell. My only choice is I have to, I can't, you can't stop sickness. You can't, that's not true. There's too much in things that I found in my world that says you have to die from cancer or die from a particular thing. Death is so different and different meanings for me. With the people that have died and passed over, Hello, everybody. The people that died and passed over, they have come to me and told me different things. And I'm like, whoa, it's a whole different feeling. It's a whole different meaning. So I'm supposed to bring forward to you the knowledge that you can look at hope again. You, no matter how dark it is, look for that light. Don't just hoping, which is ego. You hope with spirit. And I teach people how to get into the spiritual mindset, how to know the difference between the spiritual mindset and the ego mindset. Show you how you can see the difference and heal and get proof and witness that you used to be that and now you're this. And it's all for the better. You've got growth. You actually create an evolution within yourself. You never want to go back to that, which is a good thing. So what happens is that there's so much information. Like I'm taking the students in the pilot class right now to discover these little things about themselves. That they're waking up and they're like, I want more. But they're like, I must be missing something. So then they're drawn to me. And I said, good, let's do this. And you get to see where you got your arrested developments. You get to see where you set your self-limitations. I use myself as the example so that you can really feel and understand what it means from this angle. You have a different perspective. That's right. There is no death. There is no end. You can't destroy. You can't create it. It just transforms. That's what energy is. That's what we are. Because we're consciousness. You're always is. But it's when we over-identify with matter, which is ego, electromagnetic guiding omni-apparition. That's ego. It's a lens. But the moment you over-identify with it, with emotions, and the thoughts that create the story, because you can feel the degree of it happening. And the more that you can feel that degree, the more trapped it becomes, the more unresolved issue you have. And just imagine that you've carried this through lifetimes. Not only did you carry it through lifetimes, but you carried it further, which is what? Through your bloodline. All these can be healed. I just wanted to take those first few minutes to explain that to you. Now, if we're looking for anybody that wants to, the offer is 6 minutes for $11. There's PayPal information there. If you choose to want to be on video so that there is no time lapse and you can get more for your money, you get to talk to me straight out. You get to go to that extra mile. What's going to happen is that, even if, see, it's better to have video because then you get to have the healing tools as well. But if you only want to do voice, you have to let us know too, because you still got to come to the room. I'll just shrink you up and stick you in the corner, but you can't see that. So nobody would see you anyway. Just me. Because right now you can't see Amy. Now, some of those places, yeah, Amy's here. Now, some of you, like these two cameras here, can't have that feature. But
I'll be right back.
But in those things, you still can call in and you can put that Zoom number in. And what happens when you put that Zoom number in is that people will be able to hear you. But I would like video. Now, the video, but Amy is gone. So I have to when she comes back. Well, actually, I don't have to. So what I would do is that you be able to see. Now, Amy normally sits there. And when you come in the room, there'll be 3 screens. And then you would be seen. But if you just want your voice and you want, again, this is very important, not just for the people that's listening, but for you, not only because you paid, but because there is a delay. And that delay sucks because the information that comes pouring through me, and I need your feedback, not because I'm fishing, because I want to know if you can follow that train of thought, great, we'll keep running with it. But if you can't follow that train of thought, you're going to tell me, and then I will clarify it. And so that, because taking the light language, listening to the other side, listening to your loved ones, listening to angels, listening to your frequency chords in the entanglement chords, listening to all that. It is, how do I interpret it through emotions? How do I help you get connected to the shit that's already in your space? And if you can't connect with it, then that's fine. We'll find something else that will. So I just want to let you know. Free readings, yes, we do those. Email me. Makes it easier. Because when I'm doing free readings, and when it's light and there's not a lot of people, that's no big deal. But when there's a ton of people, I want to make sure we all, you all get something from this. But what I don't like is when people say they beg, I go to call out and they don't say they're here, and yet I still give them a reading. And I know they didn't get it. But there is that 30-second delay. And because I go so fast, it's just easier to do it a certain way. Procrastination, Fran, is basically a symptom. It is the tool you use to cope, handle, deal, and pacify with whatever experience that you had. For instance, Fran, something happened at 5 years old, okay? And that stability, emotional, is it emotional? Emotional stability, mental, emotional, physical. So emotional stability, something in your space was not stable. You could feel it, okay? And maybe you procrastinated and didn't want to do the dishes because there was a fight going on, or there was somehow when you're little, you didn't want to do something. You had to do something, or you were going to do something, but because of the emotional instability in the space, you stopped. And they said that, well, it has to do with habitual fear over and over. I said, what didn't you want to feel? They said it has to do with a memory. You don't want to remember something. So if you're trying to store something that you don't want to remember, you're going to keep creating procrastination, because that's what saved you. That's what saved you. If you were to get past procrastination, then what would happen? Then that it's a habit, so that you have to go into it. But what if all of a sudden she was strong enough, she forced herself to get past procrastination? Well, then her body would start to feel unstable, and she'd feel like feeling attacked, to the point where she could actually create something out of nothing to feel like it attacked her. Okay? And if I look a little bit further, they said then her safety becomes concerned for her. And it's all based on this 5-year-old that had the experience. Your inner child is asking you to resolve this. Your inner child keeps repeating in a hellish nightmare. And it doesn't even have to be a dramatic one. It could be because you got yelled at. Or it could be something very much. Or you witnessed something. But either way, your sensory being took on that moment. And your brain was going, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And to resolve, to revolve, to pacify, deal with it, manage, cope with whatever's going on. Again, it may not be directly to you, but your sensory system picked up. Procrastination was one. You're trying to figure out where I'm going with all this. Do you have a life? Do you have emotions? Do you have hell? Do you have shit that's happened to you? Do you know why it happens? I can tell you why. I can see it in your energy patterns. Where's all this going? You want your life to turn around? You need to know where your shit comes from. You have shit, you know it. You like, I already know this. Do you have tools to resolve it? Can you feel the difference of when it's so to heal it to, oh, it doesn't own you anymore? Emotions don't have to own you. Do you know that we're hardwired for joy? Not suffering, but to joy? But we can't get back to joy if we have told our nervous system and our brain, which only predicts what you feed it. You have to change that. You have to heal that. You have to resolve out of that. Life happens. If you're watching this, then you have a life. If you're sitting there and you feel like shit, you have a life. You feel indifferenced, confused. You don't know what's going on. Sometimes the ego won't even let you hear anything I'm saying. Sometimes you need seeds because your brain rejects anything that it hears or sees. Energetically, you're an amazing story. Energetically, you are a complicated human. But you don't have to live in ego, and you don't have to live in stress, and you don't have to live in those emotions and those past experiences to own you. So where am I going with this? Amy, do you know where I'm going with this?
I think so.
Meet Amy, everybody. She's back.
I'm back.
So where am I going with this? Give an example of what the hell am I even talking about? You have been with me now for maybe a year.
Well, probably another 2 weeks and it's a year, I think. You read the energy, and everything that you do is the way you did it before.
And she's referring to each individual.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you know this? When you first got a reading, when you first did the healing tool.
It's annoying. You
when I first gave you the read, what happened? Did it made sense?
She knows what's going on. I know she wasn't in my space, but it was like she was in my head.
All I was doing was reading the mirror of all your energies. Your space is your space.
Exactly. Yeah, it's amazing what you do, and
So then when you connected all these feelings and all of these experiences in life,
it's like, oh wow, okay, that's why this is happening. And like this morning when I woke up, my roof was leaking. I'm like, okay, why is this happening? Why does this have to happen right now?
And the point is, she used to say, why is this happening to me? Oh my God, terror. Ah!
Exactly.
So why was her roof leaking? And according to this, is that you gave up expectations of anybody helping you. That you have to endure shit. And you don't have the tools to resolve it. Because you know that in some places, some things are going to require another human.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's more to the story. And, and the thing is where am I going? It is really about you discovering you. But what happened when you used the tools, Amy?
I didn't go into high beta. I didn't start panicking. I'm like, okay, I'll throw out some buckets to catch the water. And then the hubby came and cleaned it off, and it's stopped now.
Good. So what should she just say? High beta. Yeah. I teach you how you function. But before it would be, she just said, I usually go off my rocker. I get worried. I upset. I obsess. I do all this. And she says now that she's healed all those past, it is, yeah, I don't have to act that way. But when you used tools in the past, did you feel the difference? Like, holy shit. Ah, and then you healed it and you're like, where did it go?
Yeah. Yeah.
What I always say to people is, you want it back?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. That's how much you know. You've measured, you know the difference, and you're like, yeah, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go back to that. Don't make me. Fran says, I hear and understand. I'm just battling triggers. Yeah, that's because your ego's in a live experience. And you can use tools to resolve the story. That's why I have one-on-ones. That's why I have private readings. That's why I have, offer these classes and offer, these things, the shows. She goes, I think I'm past this. And she goes, I think I'm past this. And bam, there it is again. It's because how did you solve it? Because if you're trying to solve it with the same mind that created it, the tools I use help you to apply it to the ego. And it gives the ego thinks it's still doing it all, but you're tapping into your innate body, innate healing ability. Energy begins to heal you. Energy you can't kill or create. You can only transform. So the tools help you transform that energy so you don't have to invest your life force into those triggers or into those experiences you can't resolve. They literally begin to work together. And when you don't have a tool and you think it through and you try to solve it, you only fire and wire and create another track, drive it deeper into the brain. But when you're using a tool and you're going through the same process you usually do, the blood, because we're electromagnetic beings, 80% of our blood leaves our forebrain. Our forebrain creates our future. And when that blood leaves our forebrain, we go into fight, flight, freeze. And so then we just fire and wire and keep creating to try to solve it. We want the stability and safety and security. We want joy. We can't get it if we can't stabilize those. So when you're using a tool, you're bringing the blood back up. You're helping resolve out the emotion out of, which is a chemical peptide, out of the cells and the molecules. And all of a sudden, your chemical peptide calms down and you don't have to become addicted to it. Your thoughts calm down and you literally begin to transform and see life differently. No, you're not lazy. You just succumb to the fact that this is all you know. Your ego said, this is what we're doing. It worked once. We got to do it again. I would say we would heal that particular thing of where you're at. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Oh, I love it. She goes, you look amazing, Brenda. Life and joy. Looks good on you. Thank you. You know what's funny is that I've been in South Australia, and it's not because I have a new man, but it's about how me and him communicate differently. It's about him and I resolving to evolve, using the healing tools, that every day I wake up with such joy and such happiness. I go to bed with such joy and happiness. And all of the things, every time we're out of sync, we'll look at each other knowing that, whoa, we don't have to think of it through ego. Now, if we feel it's like, okay, I'm going to go heal this shit. I love you that much. Because I don't need to take the pain that I'm trying to discover out on him just so that I can get some relief. That's not nice. That's rude. That's crude. That's hurtful. Yes, James, I heard that. Now, everybody's in such a stress mode. And James says that my sister's nephew is 666. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of things that people have to work through, but I asked, he's going to live, yes. And there's just a lot of fear around that, yes. And I know that we could do some things. Now, I have been sending healing energy, but at the same time, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be addressed. But at the same time, I'm sending energy. Your good mama reached out and, there's so much I could do, but I would need somebody it has to be respect of your mother. I haven't talked to her in so long. I mean, energetically, we could use source points to help that child to immune system to kick in. And all I can do is send the energy, but there's a bigger story going on. And the experience is what needs to come out of this. I'm there for your sister. I'm there for you guys. I love you all. Just so that you know, everything's good. I mean, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. It's just... And the tough part is that during the situation, when people are in high beta, they can't receive. If she wants to, then we could do source point where she could take and rub certain points, connect certain points, so that the child can start to balance out its energy. But it's hard to do when energy, when there's so much conflict between doctors and there's so much conflict between the emotions and the experiences that are happening. Yes, over here, this particular thing is that I just pulled it out. If you want a particular free reading, Amy, has anybody sent in?
I've got 3 emails.
Okay. So somebody is in YouTube land and they said, is this a reading? Yes, that is a reading. I showed you several different things. I've explained a few things because there was questions. Just so you know, when you do get a reading, it's a free one. It's a 1 minute. But I noticed that someone's paid.
That's me.
Oh, you paid. Aw, thanks. Okay, so let's see where we're at. We have today the 3rd? Yes. So Jennifer first, and then you paid, and then there's a Helena. Okay, so we'll get to that, and then we will get those free readings. Okay. Jennifer Ferguson, you're up. Tell me whether or not you want to come live. Then you get a Zoom room. You just download Zoom, type that in, join the room. Yes, Jennifer Ferguson. Can't read it. Whiting. Yep, you're up. Because that's the first that came through. Then it says Amy, and then Helena Stephanakis. And that is where you begin. You want to go live? Wonderful. So do you have Zoom? If so, then you hit join room. And then this number here, 655 19000. And then that'll bring you to this room. Just want to make sure I got to double check that that's the correct room. Yes, it is. And then that'd be good, because then you get more for your money for that 6 minutes. While we're waiting for her to come in.
Nicole Bangs.
Okay, 1 minute, right?
1 minute.
All right, Nicole.
She wants to know what's next in her to progress in her path.
Next in her what? Take your
intuitive,
finger away.
Whatever you need, whatever she needs to know to progress on her path.
To progress. Gotcha. Okay, now to progress on her path. Oh wow! I immediately I just feel this petrifiedness that hit kind of hard. To the point that you don't even. I don't know if you're aware that it had. Wow. Just give me a second. That's how much that you're. This is a habit. This is a habit. They said that it's panic. It's repeating, but you're not even aware of this because it's apparently a big part of who you are. But it's an invading energy of being bullied. So you want to, no matter what path you're doing, your body says that at 6 years old, you remember being bullied to take and do other people's, go down their path, to go down into somebody else's path. And with that in mind, I'll be right with you, okay? With that in mind, they're saying, that creates the compatibility to be out of whack. So I would definitely say that you need to take and look at those emotions and tap them out. Or you can set up an appointment to see me. And here we go. Wonderful. Wonderful. Can you hear me at all, Jennifer? Oh, she froze. So we'll wait just a minute. I think there's yay! We got it. Now I'm going to just get the volume right. Can you hear me now? Oops.
Yeah.
Good.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay. I appreciate you calling in. This is wonderful. What can I help you with, my dear?
I want to know where the relationship that I'm seeing with this guy is gonna go, and if he's like a soulmate or.
Okay. You didn't happen to, by chance, you don't have anybody following you around that says I'm the chosen one, do you? It's interesting because because there's this energy. There's two parts of you. I'm not sure what I'm seeing that. Just double checking. And so now I just got to address, because you say you want to talk about that relationship. Well, while you're showing me this, and there is an obsession. So that's what they want me to pull out. They talk in charades. Okay. And who's doing it? You're obsessing about yourself. What are you obsessing about yourself about? There's the security thing. And you feel yourself putting limitations on yourself that maybe I shouldn't go and do this. Do you understand what I mean by?
Yeah.
Okay. So towards yourself, does that make any sense? How you would treat towards yourself, that you have security issues?
Yeah, second guessing.
That's why you're asking. Now, what's interesting about the second guessing is that I asked Spirit, well, why are you even second guessing? They said, because you can't figure something out. Okay, when did that first come about? 7 years old is when you actually had a particular incident that's influencing why are you reacting this day today. And if I asked, and you says, well, at 7 years old, I distrusted somebody that I deeply cared about. Ooh. And then you started to have that awkward feeling. And what happened then at 7? An alarm. And you could feel that, you loved this person, but they didn't love you back enough. And that's where.
Oh, that'd be my dad.
Is it? Yes. Yes. Okay. So you got to remember, I don't care how old you are, your 7-year-old is playing this out in your love life right now. I will still answer your question, but I would say you need to heal. Okay. So here goes here. If she didn't heal it, but this stuff's happening, they'll say, release your ex. In this case, it's not about your ex, probably about your dad. So you have to release that person. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to release whoever it is. And if I said, what is it that she would need to release the most? The confusion. Because you when you think of it as your father, you expect them to love you. There is just this natural part you expect. Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
So when that doesn't happen and you haven't resolved that unresolved issue and you come and you bring that into the relationship, there's a part of you that I'll love you, but I don't know if I trust that you'll love me back, even though in a relation you expect that they love you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. 1 second. The camera's off, which means your view of how you're seeing things are off. No. How people see you. That's what that means. So the clue of my camera started to fall was how people see you might be a little distorted. So just anybody? You're afraid that if he sees you a certain way, he may end up being like that. Oh my God, you just told me the fact that what happened at 7 was that he didn't like, were you bashful? Or you became bashful?
I became bashful.
Okay.
Shy, big time.
Okay, so what, did you blame yourself? Yes. So your 7-year-old self blamed yourself that it was your fault because he displayed what? Wow. He displayed, what about me? So he was expanding his importance. What about me? And here you are being a little kid going, and we have irrational thinking as a child, and it will not make any sense to why we come up with the solutions we do. It's just that they displayed that feeling. So in this relationship you have right now, does he go, what about me?
No.
No? Good. So you're looking for triggers. Okay. You're looking.
Yeah, it works really. Yeah, we have a very strong connection. I get that. That's why I think he was either like a twin flame or a soulmate or.
All right. So understand that the reason you're questioning it is because of S7. So tell me more about him. And it says, let your friendship develop, because that's really going to help. They said that you have to pay attention to all of those red flags, not about him, but because of that past issue when you're younger, because it could interfere with the relationship. Then I'm asking about who is he with her? And they said, so here's the question. How did you get together with him? What was your key thing that, yes, me too type feeling? Was it over
we both have the same stepdad?
Okay. So there might be a codependency there as far as having the same issue.
There's a lot of similarities we have in common.
Okay. Just remember that when you develop a codependency relationship, you got to be able to stand on your own. But if you can come together and enhance each other instead of just as codependencies or addictions are affecting your relationship life. So the codependency, is this about the hit them? No. Do you have you need it? Yeah. What do you need? Have you ever felt hopeless in a relationship?
Sometimes.
And any other relationship you've been in, have they ever felt hopeless?
I don't know. No.
The reason I say that is because in order for a codependency relationship, there has to be some type of similarities that happen. They're saying, I'm just finished this up. You have to love yourself first. So they're telling you to really heal that issue. So who is he? Who is he? He is your soulmate.
I thought so.
Now, when you define a soulmate, sometimes a soulmate can be one that's just going to help you grow. A soulmate can be somebody that you really have a lot in common with, and you both healed a lot of your shit that you can just grow together. If there's a lot of shit that you guys haven't taken care of, then it can look a lot like chaos. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much did that help you at all?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, now when I talk about those particular emotions, just remember to go in and use a healing tool. We have a bunch of free healing tools. medicinewomansolution.weebly.com, and you can use EFT, oh my God, points. You look at that. You want to keep that relationship fresh. Do Celtic weave, do connecting heaven and earth and hook up so that you don't take on each other's energies, so that you both can be clear channels and be able to bond and get closer to one another. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for calling in.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So that's an example. Isn't that great? Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Amazing.
Now, did you want to go next, or did you want to?
I can wait. I can be
Okay.
last.
So the next person that's up would be, oops, get the right mouse. And anybody that's in YouTube land, understand, pay attention to that email. You can just write in for a free reading so that I can hear your question. And I know you're sticking around for it. And if you want to come live, then you can do the paids. And double check. I believe, I can't remember who the person's name is. My brain is going. There we go. Helena. Or Helena. Stephanakis. And find out where you are so that I can talk to you, whether you want it done this way or you want to do it video. You're choosing. You let me know. I will go live on camera. Awesome. Yay. Okay. Again, Zoom room.
Come play.
Yes, we love to play. So just remember, make sure you have Zoom downloaded. It's not that hard. There's the number. Type that in after you hit join meeting, and we'll see when you're being admitted. Okay, just so you know. During that, who's the next 1 minute read while we wait?
Miss Patty.
Miss Patty.
What do I most need?
What do you most need? Okay, what do you most need? And that is really to define what contempt is. How does it play out? And just a second, I didn't even hit 1 minute. Can you take care of Elaine? She's asking a question. I can give her the number too, if you would. Amy will take care of you, Elaine, so that you can get into the room. All right. Again, did you say Miss Patty? I'm sorry. Yes, Patty. Define contempt. Define if you do it. Define how spirit does it. Or I should say, that was an interesting thing they said, but how other people do it to you. And how much you have to hold that in, if that makes any sense. Because it's a habit. And it literally blocks you. And that's part of one of the filters that interferes with your space. And they said that it's based on a bad memory when it occurred when you were 6 years old. It literally changed the energy inside of you so that your inner world creates this outer world so that you got to constantly see it. Now we're going to ask Spirit, please, grace and ease. Help her see when these little things are related to those particular emotions. That's very important for you to look at. And they said, please forgive yourself. Don't go into ego and go, oh my God, I see the contempt and I did it. Oh my God. No, this is just use the healing tools or make an appointment with me. And you can go a lot further. James, yes, I did get your page. So you'll be afterwards. And that's fine. We'll wait for you, sweetheart. So who's next for that 1 minute?
Elements. I have no clue.
All right. Whoever elements is, we don't know what room you're in. So you could be in YouTube land. You could be wherever you are. We will look. And just so you know, Now remember, if you're in YouTube land and you're there, there's a Zoom room and there, or Zoom room, sorry, email so that we can know who you are and where you are. I don't see who Elements is. Oh, is it up here? Oh, yeah, there it is. Rosalind. Okay, gotcha. Whee. Okay, wonderful. Here you go, honey. When you do email and you can tell what you want. Something very monotonous, repetitive is happening to the point where it actually beginning to grind on you. They said that it forces you to take action. So because it's so monotonous, you can feel it inside and you just want something, this weird feeling to stop. So you may have to get up and walk to help bring in more of the joy. you also contract your energy and to just so you can toward yourself. Oh, you do? And they said, but at the same time, when that's all happening, because you have to, let's say it's work, but you're yearning for a different life. Understand that if you are yearning, heal the yearning, the feeling of the yearning out, because yearning means you're always going to just want it. And the inner world is going to create the outer world that says that it's yearning. Now, the difference between desire and downloading that feeling that, yes, I want out of this monotonous and I want to go over here, and it'll push you in a different direction. But you can't get to do that and what's important to you, because yearning is what you finally settled for. So we want you out of that, if that makes any sense. Please let me know if that makes sense. So notice your emotions, notice your thinking, and you can heal that yearning out. You can EFT it out. There's plenty of ways, or you can make an appointment with me. Okay? Now we have, so let's put you in that different position, Amy. Hello. There. Now I think we got sound. Do we have it?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yep, we got it. Okay. Now you have to tell me, sweetheart, what would you like to talk about?
I'm planning to move this summer in June, and anything around that I would really appreciate, just because I'm trying to make it a smooth move for my daughters and I.
Okay. Now we can look at the direction of the things that are, what happens can repeat. And we want to make sure to smooth move, because I could tell you that, yeah, it's going to be good, because I can see, yeah, you're going to be happy. You're like, finally, you're getting something there. It's finally. But that's not what I like to do. Yes, I will give you happy and joy, but I also want it to be more smoother. Now, you have a certain amount of shit that has to happen to you energetically, I see. Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that seems to be following you ever since you were 2 years old. The worst one was when you were 23. There was a lot of shit that followed you there.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're saying that when you do this next move, understand it's like part of the strategy. I'm moving, but I have to go through all this shit to get there. And I said, well, what can we do to break that strategy so she doesn't have to go through all that why can't she just have it? Because I can already see the joy. You're like, yay, and I made it through 100%, but yet, I have to go through all. And I can hear you're like, ah. So they said, notice that, were you ever stifled, told to be quiet, dismissed, just kind of your words don't matter, stifled? Okay. Okay. See, all the time. And the thing is that has a big part of you have to feel like shit. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to ask a little bit. And they said, now it's just a habit. The habit is part of that strategy. It's like you kind of expect it's going to come around the corner. It's interesting because you have to have about 80% of making myself feel like shit. Making myself feel like shit. Did you hear that? So, okay. So if you don't, let's say, is it at in a day? Okay. So at 80%, if you don't make yourself feel like shit, whether it is procrastination, being indifferent, or just flat, they said, then I will create somebody to come in and do it for me. And it's not pretty. So do you have sometimes people come in and you're like, you're just like, what the?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's why you've learned as a young child, you're like, I would rather make myself feel like shit than have you make me feel like shit, because that's what happened. You're like, I'm taking over this. I'll do it for you. It's like a way of disciplining yourself, but that's not a good, healthy discipline. But that's what your child part of you said it needed to do.
Like I controlled it, because at least if I did it myself, then I was controlling it. I understand that. Yeah.
Good job. And they're saying that you noticed. Oh, okay. So in the heart meridian, it says frightful overjoyed. Frightful overjoyed is, do you know what I mean by that? Because you see how her body reacted, and it's like, yeah, because for those people understanding, a frightful overjoyed is like if you got in a car accident, you're like frightened as hell, but you're overjoyed you lived. Or, that's just one example. So you have a good example. I would heal, because I can see some of the pictures. I would heal that out. I would say, put that on a scale from 0 to 10. And 10 being, holy shit, yeah, I know this one. They actually has pictures, because I can see that you're looking through and you're like, oh yeah, here's a picture of it. And All right. I would say you want to pull those out. So you're going to want to do like there's a free healing tool called sensory accessing. You need to get it out of your eyes, but you also need to get it out of your ears.
Okay.
Okay. Because it's like part of you is like, I hear it coming even before, even if there's nothing going on, it sets the tone. Oh, literally.
Yeah.
Okay. And now, I just fell. I just was walking and I just fell. So I just felt myself walking and I just fell. It was like, whew. But I didn't hurt myself. I stumbled. I stumble a lot. So does that ring a bell to you? Now, all of a sudden, I don't know if feels like a female. It feels like a mother. But the interesting part of it, okay, here we go again with the camera, the light. What's going on? It's off center. Why is it off center? What has that got to do with her? Go ahead. What do you know about
my mom just came down last month and it literally like triggered. I was doing really well and then I got really ungrounded and it triggered the hell out of me. And I've been trying to keep myself grounded and out of that fight or flight since she came.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, I'm going to tell you, I got major goosebumps and I'm watching how all these cameras and these lights are falling. It's like, wait, what? So you have to dim your light. You have to stifle that light.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yes. Now, that's why it's like you stumbled. That's why they said that. You stumbled because you were doing good.
Yeah.
Then that came okay, now all of a sudden I just got hit in the face. Now, hold on. I just feel this. It's an old feeling. So I don't know if you hit your face when you're younger or somebody hit you or what, but you could feel it.
My mom would like punch me in the face a lot and like break my nose. Okay. She was just really
that hurts. That hurts. Because literally it affects my teeth. Mm-hmm, I can feel how it affects the roots of my teeth and the sinus area. Okay, so your body, shit bricks. Hold on, I'm sorry, I don't mean Tourette's it, but it's, I gotta read this. You're used to it coming to you at all the times. And that's what, even if she's not in your space, your body is already picking up the vibe. I mean, literally it's freaking out because.
Yeah, it went like I've been crazy since then and I can't even calm myself down. And it's like, okay, God, hasn't happened in so long.
You may want to make an appointment with me, sweetheart, because I can go in and get all those little things and start disconnecting it. Oh, shit bricks. Oh, what the hell is that? Why? It's like, you thought you were pretty good at stop it. It's all has to do with being bully energy. I mean, you did pretty good from what I can see, you have not really brought any bully energy in. That's why you took it upon yourself. But this is like the smell of her, the presence of her just is a bully. I mean, that's how your little girl sees it. I don't care how much she may have mellowed and became happier. It doesn't matter. Your whole body, see, Jesus, you did it again. Your whole body does this. Yeah, okay, you may want to make an appointment with me. I mean, you can do it on your own. I don't know how well, because see, you got to make sure you get it out, because sometimes people only get it to a 3 and they don't know how to get it down. Now, if you decide to do EFT, do more rounds than you think. Do your best to measure it. When you're doing this, you're like, oh my God, whatever it is you're writing down, you need to give it a 10, give it a color, the intensity of how you know it. Tap it out as many times as you can. Get it out. Get the pictures out. You got major pictures. But do your best, and you feel like it's gone or you feel like it's changed, keep going, give yourself a couple more rounds of it, because you need it out by the roots. We don't need it to grow back, because the amount of abuse that you have to do in order to be a good girl or take it upon yourself to control that. Yeah, sweetheart, you got a lot of beautiful things coming, and that's not pretty. Now, I know you will survive.
Yeah, I know. I'm
and it's fine. Beautiful. It's beautiful. You know, so there is some good stuff coming.
Yay.
I'm sorry to deliver what you already know, but it is important that you can heal this. You don't have to be alone, okay?
Yeah, I appreciate it. I do want to ask you this, Brenda, like, is it just better once I get through this again with my mom not to see her again? Because this is going to keep happening.
All right. I will give you this extra minute just so people can understand. If you don't heal.
Oh, no, Brenda, we got loud piercing noises.
Okay, that is a sign. Okay, so.
Oh no, Brenda, we got loud piercing noises.
It's going to haunt you. Even if you don't talk to her, it's going to haunt you. That's what it's saying. And it's going to echo back, and you're going to find it in another person. Your stand-in for your mother today is going to be, and it could be somebody, you know, that you think, oh, they're safe to be around with. Oh, she has no sound now. I'm having electrical issues, apparently, but you still can hear me.
I can hear the ringing, though. I can hear what she's talking about.
I may have to close down the show and start again. Okay, so people, yeah. So yes, you know, but if you heal it, then the universe is going to make you zig, her zag, or you're going to be able to take those filters off, and you can create a different relationship. Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much. I will let you go. I'm coming back. Just hang in there. I'm going to start the thing again. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, honey. All right. Bye. Okay. So I'm going to exit out of, I don't know exactly how to exit out. We'll see. Okay. So I'll stop streaming. I'll be back. Are you guys having in YouTube land and up here? Are you guys having that ringing? It was in the main video. Now, Delinda, are you even there? Now, see, I don't know how many people are there or not there. There's 3 up here. Can I get it? Okay, the reading. I had to shut down my big one. That Facebook is fine. The YouTube over here, so I won't shut that one down. I will stay there. If you want a reading, free reading, you know, go to the email and that way.
Reading.
Huh?
You got an email for a reading.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start this back up in a second. And if YouTube land is fine, because it was when I touched that frame. See, everything is kind of messed up right now.
Ronnie said that it happened when I appeared on the screen.
You?
When I came back from being off camera.
Well, that is bizarre. Could have been the timing just because it was a question. Okay. So,
and I have gifted her 6 of my minutes.
oh, aren't you a sweetheart? So how much did you pay for how many minutes? Hi, Lillian. Yeah, we're getting there now. Lillian, do you hear in YouTube land? Do you hear any screechiness? Hopefully not. I'm going to shut this off. I have to jump back on and go this way, and we're going to see. Oh, that's right. That's not going to work until I. Oh, that's right. That's not going to work until I.
No.
Oh, check that out.
YouTube is fun.
I don't know what happened to my Facebook because let's see if that works. I didn't shut it down. Okay, double check the Steam key. Hang in there, people. It didn't shut down all the way. So does that mean Facebook is still open? If that's the case, I have got to. Whoa, I can't get all that stuff I had. I lost. Jeez. Stop recording. Yes, we'll trigger this down. We'll hit done. Start again. Open that. Just an echo. Okay. Hit copy. I got to write something in the title. I'm back. Jeepers. Let's try this again. Go over here. This will definitely test my skills. Apply, okay. Start, yes. And go live. That should work. We'll see what happens. I think we are here.
Yes.
Yes. James, hey, good. Oh, good. Here we go. People are coming back. That was bizarre. Yeah, okay. That is so weird when that stuff happens, you know? Oh, but you know what? I ain't going to be able to see anything until I refresh this. Oh. Okay, so we're back from what I can understand, but I can't see the room, so I got to set up my room real quick. See what happens. Thank you guys for being patient and helping me through this.
Yeah, Angela says it's better. Good.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay.
Thank you, Spirit.
There's been some strange stuff happening.
Angela, I have not received your email, hon.
Okay, so maybe you sent it to the old one. I don't know if I can get into that or not.
MWS, the number 4U at dr.com.
Yeah, we had to, because on my main big screen, I can't get to my, I can't get to it. So there's a lot of things Spirit's doing today. Night, and people are having dreams galore. I don't know if any of you have been having dreams.
I don't know if it was a dream or a vision or what, but it was like my dad walked in the front door and then the door went, it went like standing up to flipped over.
The door?
The door. Everything just kind of tilted
Sideways.
From vertical to horizontal.
Huh. Okay. So, different perspective of opportunities, for one, that I can hear. This is, okay, yeah. Bizarre. All right, spirits, I know that you guys come in. Is the frequency different? I just need to ask them. No. Is there something going on with just, they're nodding their heads. So something's going on with me? No. Something's going on with the planet? Yes. Did we have a spike in a solar spike or something? They're saying yes, no, which means that's not important as much as there's something else important.
Oh, Betty asked if it's because it's O2.
And I believe it could be because I noticed once that happened, like the dreaming and everything else. But I mean, I think it's just funny. It's like they're deliberately moving my light. Did you hear that? Did you hear what I just said? They're deliberately moving my light. So the light is changing. The frequencies are getting better. So how do we get, our nervous system has to adjust to it, people. Nikki said she's been having very vivid dreams. Did you receive Rachel Rara's email?
I believe so. Yes.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. I'm going to have to get out of the email. I can't get my computer to work. That's fine. I'll get out of it. Oh. So there's a lot of people that seem to be more into the room. So yes, I got to readjust before I do a 6 minute. So I'm going to jump over to whoever the brown is in the YouTube land. I'm just going to do a 1 minute read there because somehow I need to reestablish something. So if you're there, say here, and I'll give you a 1 minute free read to whoever and to you, Ras Brownie. Okay, let me just readjust to myself. It just makes it easier. Whoever you are, there seems to be are you indecisive about something at the moment? Because, or you have people around you that are very indecisive, because somebody from the other side has just handed me something. I can't quite see what it is. So there's an opportunity, or there's something. Is there anything particular? No, it's just that you are getting information that's coming through. And they said that stop being a martyr. The decision needs to be, you need to do some self-care. It has to be something that you shouldn't have to go without. You shouldn't have to be deprived. You can do this. You can be strong. Ooh, now I'm feeling very nauseous all of a sudden. And spacey. Why is this? Why is this? Because it's hard to contemplate when you have past results that can be harmful. Okay, so learning how to be learning how to be strong. That's a good word. Are you asking if that's Brooke? There's a big smile. That means anything. Sometimes they come through as very much, what do you call it? Charades. This energy is different because my nervous system, I normally don't get wiped by anybody on the other side. I'm not getting wiped. I think I'm just changing the frequency with them. So there must have been a light code that turned, oh God, they're all happy. So yes, that means that some light codes have come on in the planet. A light code is that some of you are going to be, no, you're Brooke. Okay. Somebody just smiled. A light code is when your abilities are going to start kicking in, when you're going to be waking up more, and you got to continue to start seeing things and questioning things. And if you don't do that, then, some people just get slammed in this life doesn't work. You got to change it. Let's change the frequency again. Whew. Yeah, I think we're all going through this. Now, I'll be happy if none of my stuff falls now. That's why that's happening here. Wow, it's even doing it on the other side now. Oh, and there goes my light. Come on. Very bizarre. Okay, so now that I've got somewhat back in my head or body, we're going to take, I think it's James. Let me look. Yes, James. And then you said you gifted LaRonda? Who did you gift? Hold on, Amy. We got to make sure you can talk. Yeah, so you got your control button, so I can't unmute you. You have to do it yourself.
Yes, I gifted LaRonda.
Okay, so James, hon, if you're next, you can do it here or you can do it live. You choose. LaRonda, you'll be after that. Just general. Okay, gotcha. Okay. All righty. Oops. It's about money. I was going to go to relationship, and he says, no, just go to money. Go to the ever desired to want more. What about it? There's something to do with people that have money. They are very lofty. They lord it. Do you have people in your space that lord it over you, or that they have more money? Is this a man thing? Is this no? Toward yourself. You need more money? Oh, so are you trying to convince yourself you're being mean to yourself? So is this how you self-motivate? Do you motivate yourself in that way? Because, what? You have to become very egotistical towards yourself, and you have to, it's not even a pep talk. It is, what? It's your identity. It is, so how you act and who you be about money. There's part of you that feels that it doesn't feel like you anymore. And when that happens, you literally feel like there's a pride issue. You can get hurt easily. that hurt easily is when you were the little boy and it didn't matter what you did or how you did it. What? You were overwhelmed. Overwhelmed by ego people, and they made you feel what? What did they make you feel? Panic. Why? Because they were measuring. I couldn't measure up to them. I couldn't measure up to what they wanted, expected. Oh, okay, that makes sense. That there was a part of you that has developed like a certain behavior. For instance, a certain behavior can be inappropriate laughing, or the mannerism speech gets really fast. There's some type of behavior that you do when it comes to feeling very awkward about it. And then you have to puff up again. It might be because you're a man. You have to show a certain amount of ego part of you. And there's a worry that you're not being man enough because of who told you that bullshit. Somebody's been feeding you some bullshit but they're trigger words. You haven't broken free from trigger words yet. Okay, so you were in a narcissist relationship before, and there were words that were used, weren't there? Because they're saying literally that you, without knowing it, you're being controlled by it. Those triggers. Okay, and they said that they're really deep. Now, I would make sure you use EFT. Remember, go to medicinewomansolution.weebly.com and get the free healing tools under healing. Under healing tools, get your free one. They're all free. Your identity is what you're transforming out of, because I keep seeing you look at your kids and you're like, I don't want to be that type of person anymore. And you kind of don't want to. It's like as soon as somebody says something, to hurt your pride, and you take it personal and it hurts you, there's a part of you that instantly, you're like, it triggers, and then all of a sudden it's like an automatic response that you have to respond. We have to behave that way, and they know it, and so they will. Oh God, that just threw me off balance. Yeah, that's a good example. They throw you off balance. And then you don't even realize it's happening. And then you're acting it out. And then afterwards, you're sitting there feeling like shit. And it's like, they know it. If that makes any sense, James. Because, so what do you want him? He knows all this. What do you want him to do? You've learned that the only way you can change it is to become indifferent. And it's become your identity to, I don't care, you be indifferent. And the moment you try to expand to become more for yourself and for your kids, then it triggers it and it happens all over again. So it's like being post-hypnotic suggestion that we have to keep you down. Now, your 1-year-old self has the auto response that it has to be timid. Okay? And it's not happy, it's scary. You don't know you're doing it. So I would heal timid. I need you to define it. I need you to heal it out. I remember when you're doing this. And then also I would go a little step further and hold L2S, because it happened. That's the other thing that's energy on the planet. It's happened. And because it's happened, it will basically become a really weird feeling inside of you, okay? Really hold L2S, it happened. And every time you can use that word and you have to endure this shit one more time, focus on that. That's what you're going to do, okay? Hopefully that will help you. If not, sweetheart, you know how to make an appointment. I'm here. We can do this. Now we're doing really good. We seem to have more people into the YouTube room. That's wonderful.
Ronnie's in the waiting room.
Right. We'll get to Ronnie. Now, some people will say it's weird, but if you've never been exposed to understanding how to read energy or how to read emotions, then it's going to be weird. You already have all this energy in front of you, and it controls you, owns you. And we have LaRonda, but we got a black space. There she is. There she is. Hi, honey. Oh, we got to get you unmuted. There you go. Yep, I can hear you. Wonderful. Wonderful. Okay, so what are we working on, sweetheart?
I'm not sure. Somebody gave me a gift today.
Aw.
I'm not sure what we're working on.
Well, apparently she felt like it was needed. What made you propelled, Amy, to do this?
I don't know.
All right. Spirit has an agenda. Here we go.
Yep.
All right, Spirit, what's up? Amy is related to you in a certain way because she could feel like something that you wrote in the class, I think. And there's a trigger. So Spirit told her to gift it to you. And as I look at it, it says that you're used to having people kind of expect you to live their way. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
To the point that you actually have lung issues because you have to learn to stifle yourself. That makes sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, so there's this pattern that keeps going. Oh, do you know what sour grapes are? Amy, if you know what sour grapes are, then come back in the room. Do you know what sour grapes are?
Yes.
Good. What's your definition of sour grapes?
Something that's just not right. And I accept it anyway.
Okay, what else? There's more meaning to this, and I think that's your discovery, your journey. And Google what are sour grapes. What do you know what a definition of sour grapes are, Zane?
Hey Google, what's the definition of sour grapes?
Because it affects your safety. It creates a self-imposed limitation. It makes you feel insecure. Yeah. So, and then rejection comes into place.
Here it is. Used to refer to an attitude in which someone adopts a negative attitude to something because they cannot have it themselves.
Ooh, say that again. Say it again. Her brain almost got the correct word. Say it again.
Used to refer to an attitude in which someone adopts a negative attitude to something because they cannot have it themselves.
Isn't that interesting? So have you had things in your life you just can't have it? Well,
There's a lot of things.
Okay. But when you adapt a negative attitude, you may not even know it's negative. So let me find out.
Could it be me adopting the negative attitude or somebody adopting it towards me?
Oh, both. It's the family dynamics. Oops. I mean, it is dynamics of whoever you're with.
Okay.
So in this case, it's like impending doom. It's never going to happen. So you can't set yourself up for the fall. So your self-limitation is don't expect that. Don't expect anything different. But at the same time, there's a party that wants to fight back.
Yes.
I want it. Okay? That's a negative attitude. See? There's all these different little things that come into play. And they're all important. Interesting is that in the heart meridian, it talks about apathy. Amy, Google apathy.
Hey, Google, what is the meaning of apathy?
I was looking to see if she triggered my phone.
The lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern.
Okay, so think about that. Do you want something, and so you do just that? You try not to get any connection to what you want. Think about the past, maybe not right now.
Maybe in the past, yes.
Yes, again, when we think about it, we only use right now, but everything that's happening in your life right now is always based on the past. And they said that there was a set about apathy that was in the heart. And they said you had one at 4 is when you began to do it. And so you kind of expected that from them to you, meaning they lacked interest in you, but yet you're part of the family.
Yeah.
Okay. And they said another, 9. 9 years old, you decided to do that to yourself because that's what everybody's doing anyway.
I can agree with that.
See, that's where you need to heal. So the set limit. Were you the one that asked what our set posed limitations? I can't even remember my own word there. Oh, self-imposed limitations. You decided.
No, I didn't.
Okay, someone did, and I swear maybe you were in my dream last night. Everybody was there anyway, so why not you there? I bet you. Is because we're doing the rules. Is this a rule for you?
No, I'm not sure what that means.
Okay, so in the class, I put up a lot of different definitions of rules, and that's part of the homework before Saturday or whatever day comes. And you better get busy. Yeah, rules. It's the rules that we place upon ourselves. Like we know the day-to-day rules. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we can take risk and break them, but then there's always a consequence. And if we're going to have a rule, we don't want to break the consequence to ourselves, or we don't want to endure any consequences. So if you don't want to endure a particular feeling, you're going to stop yourself by avoiding it or take on a negative aspect. Like I took on my mother's negative aspect of being angry just so that she wouldn't throw her anger out and I wouldn't have to pick it up. So I did it to myself, and I walked around for a long time being angry. And I'm like, where'd I get that? Oh, that's right. I did it to protect myself. So I put that self-imposed limitation on myself. So you're supposed to look at how you're meant to do this, how you do it, because it says it stops you from having a dream. Because literally it is this. Here you are. You're like, oh, I want this, da 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 da. And all of a sudden you look up, boom, somebody has stopped you from having your dream because you got to pay attention to it. And there's a party that wants to feel like that they robbed you. And you want, here's the word. I got to make them feel what they made me feel.
Oh, yeah.
That one.
I learned that.
Good. They said that's in the heart. So I'd hold L1D for that one. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. See, now we can understand why spirit love you. And we appreciate you guys working well together. All right. We'll talk to you later, sweetheart.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. So that is good. Let's see. Now, if you are in YouTube land or other places, it's important that we make sure that you all get honored. If you email it to MWS for you at dr.com, ask your question that way, because that screen is so small, and when it jumps, it doesn't scroll back down for me for some reason. So that's why we know I can make sure that you really want it, and I can get it to you. Yeah, arrested developments or self-imposed limitations. We do a lot of those readings, a lot of those things we pick up. And now we have oops. Yeah, I did, James. I did. Okay. Wow, it just like it seemed to went super fast all of a sudden, didn't it? Did you feel that time jump? Okay, apparently it's me. But I felt the time jump. It's just literally premier flooring. So yes, she's over here. There's Melanie. Melanie, did you want to come on, or did you want me to do like back and forth? Let me know, okay? So while we're waiting for that to come through, who's the next 1 minute?
Lori M. Anything from my guides?
All right, Miss Lori M. They said that you have a clear path in front of you right now. And there only seems to be a little bit of obstacles, and so you seem to be doing well. Now, there are some opportunities that come up, and said that you're afraid that you might get scammed. And so, but what happens is like, don't touch that. And you're like, I'm touching it. Don't touch it. I'm touching it. So there's this little argument that seems to be going on about the feelings and the gravitational pull you have. And they said that you're pointing to the phobia. So there's a past life phobia that seems to be coming into play. And I said, well, how does that work? And they said, well, there's a panic because that would happen. And I says, how is that affecting her now? Embarrassed. Oh, so the self-imposed limitations, I don't want to be embarrassed, so I won't do certain things. on that path. I won't do so. There's kind of people that are expecting you to fail, and because if this past life is imposed, then you're going to do a self-sabotage that will cause you to have, it's part of your strategy until you get there. And so you're supposed to have these little hiccups because you're repeating certain things. So I'd say you'd want to heal that. She goes, no, I'm in my pajamas. Didn't stop LaRonda. No problem, sweetheart. That's fine. And we have to find out, let's say, I am moving. Curious on work and also galactic akashic. Ooh, can you add the one? Yeah. Okay. So that's interesting, Melanie. Galactic. Oh, feeling a little weird. Hold on. I can't even push the button yet. This is a different frequency for me altogether. Dang, where am I at? Push the button. Okay, Melanie, I'm really weird. You asked for galactic akashic, and okay, get the words, put the words. Come on, get the voice. So what I see is all of these multidimensional beings, and part of your job is to, well, we already know you're the photographer of this. But we talking future or the past? The now? You haven't recognized inside of you a particular gene, a particular vibe, a particular thing. You're almost on it. You're on the precipice, on the cusp of it, and it's an interesting feeling because it's like I'm almost woke up. I'm almost and they're saying, yeah, you're getting there. You have to sleep just a little bit longer. Okay, that's what's weird. And they said, but you are getting perfectly lined up for this move, and you're going to, with the energy of knowing you're with your path, you're going to see all the stuff that you've been waiting for is starting to come in alignment. So be prepared to say, thank you for letting me see it, and train yourself to start seeing, oh yeah, that's what I thought. And they're going back and forth. And what do I mean by that? Is like when I remember being a little girl, I wanted to make sure that I didn't live in the middle of nowhere when it's snowstorm or being trapped, but I didn't want to move into town. So I ended up being in my 30s, and I was in a house that was in the country, but it's next to a main highway, and it was only a mile out of town. And it was like, I woke up one day and go, oh, I had thought this, and it happened. Whoa. Same thing for my kids. I wanted to make sure the kids didn't have to cross the highway. And so the way the bus would come around, the bus would come pick them up, the bus would pull up and drop them off at the same time. They didn't really have to cross because the bus would turn around in my driveway. I was like, and I sat there one day and noticed this. So you're moving into the space of, I'm noticing that everything I kind of asked for is starting to come to pass. That's a good thing. Now, they're saying beware that you will use guilt from a past program that will actually stop you from seeing. Because there's a part of your brain that's going to start rejecting what you want because you've trained yourself for many years where your brain says you have to kind of see what other people want, and you kind of fulfilled their needs without knowing it. And you will move into, you know what? There's a clue that just popped up. Somebody over here says, I'm going to get attention. So who wants to try to get attention? It says, this person says, I got skipped. I want a message from the spirits, or do I not count? Do people play those words to you? Because, even if you make clear messages that said, if you really want to get a free reading, you send it here. I even explained many times, and they just happen to not be in the room. But are you consistent of who you are? Are you able to just not have to always self-justify what you need and what you want? do people keep trying to get you to do what they want? That's what they want you to pay attention to. Because the ego way of doing it is to go into a response. Which, who are you talking, or wait, who are you talking with? Which guides? Both, because the galactic came in and started, but then because of that, they said that you have to, they're going to help you bring certain things to come to pass. These other guides are in the room. You got 2 people that are dead that are here, that are trying to tell me the humanistic feeling so that you can relate. Because in the galactic, it's not that they don't have that feeling. It's just that it's a frequency that I can't comprehend just yet. So you're getting helped by loved ones that can understand that. Does that make sense? They said that they're poking at your pride. They poke at your pride to get what they want because they don't know that they're a program that is using a particular way of being to get what they want. They don't even know that they're doing that. They just know that this is what they've been taught, this is what they know, and this is what they're going to say, and this is how they're going to act. Okay? And then when this happens, oh God, your whole body just, I can feel like your whole body just kind of can feel their lofty way of thinking and being, because the vibration off the words or their gestures, if they're in front of you, just come at you. And you can feel these people be asleep, and yet at the same time, you're still being affected by that lofty energy. And it's that awkward feeling that just puts you into a lull of a automatic response. How does this affect your move? It's not, the move's going to be fine. The work, you're going to find something that you're much more happy with, but be aware that because you know all of what I just said, you're going to attract a type of employee or people that's still asking you to address that and heal that and let it go. Because it's still part of your major identity. And if you want something better, if I said, if you healed that, would that improve the relationship? Yeah, they said that you'll stop being so discouraged. Because there's actually, if they discourage you from what you want and then put you on the path of what they want, and you won't have to spiral to going into that old pattern. They said that you also won't go into that lack of emotion so that you can disconnect from that particular pattern. That's one way you've been resolving it, is what they said. And that all happens because you can't cope. Okay, I would start doing oh my God point. Just put that on your head like that. And there's other free healing tools that you can use, or you can make an appointment with me and we can really push it and clear it out. Okay, so she was worried about that. Okay, so be aware of what I just said and kind of break it down when you go to heal it. Write down the words I've said. Write down how you know it. And then give it, measure it. Put it on the scale from 0 to 10 and see if that is happening that way. Where'd my screen go? Okay, so if any of you want to have a reading, understand it's 6 minutes for $11. You PayPal me here. You have an option of being on the show, or you can do it this like I did in this last reading. You get your free minute and you email that so I know we can put it in between. So what are the you're welcome, Melanie. So Ames, what is the next free email?
It's Rachel, and I have to find her email here quick.
That's fine. Rachel, you're up next. Are you here? Rachel, are you here? And then if you can know the next person after that, we can shout out.
The next person after Rachel is Angela Allen.
Okay, so Rachel and Angela Allen. Okay, and then there's more after that. So we'll make sure those two know it. Just let me know you both are here in one way or the other. Yes, Danny, we are still taking 1 minute questions or free readings or however you want to do it. Rachel says she's here, so we'll begin. All right. Oh, no, you can't begin because you got to have a question. Or go ahead.
Why can't I get my health on track? So fatigued, struggling with my life purpose.
Okay. I'm going to try to do this in a minute. First of all, your life purpose is about what's important to you, but you have to, your polarity is off, which makes you flat. Okay, you're fatigued. And what happens is that the sweetness of life was kind of down. I'm going to tell you that if you go 4 fingers from your armpit down, and it's that spot right there where the bra line is, and you rub those points, okay, you're going to do those to start balancing out your sugars so you can start feeling joy again. When you eat, you hold those points. And when you start feeling flat, begin to hold those points. They said that you go into silent brooding. This is a particular thing you've done in the past. And so the body's mood begins to, I didn't say your mind, I said your body's mood goes into a silent brooding, which then you have to live through others. You have to live through others to the point where you can't have your purpose. And it's just something that you've done since you're little. And so they're all connected. And so it's the way you cope, handled, and deal with what happened to you at 3. And if you want more, you can pay for what's happening to the show, or you can pay for a 15-minute read, and that's $30. But you can make the appointment through the fan page under services. Okay, anybody else on the free read is
Angela.
there she is. Okay, does she have anything specific?
What do I need to know from Spirit? And then after her is Molly Walsh.
Molly.
And then Sandy.
And then Sandy. Okay, so we'll come. You heard that, Molly and Sandy afterwards. And so what we're going to do is Angela. Angela, what's interesting is that I feel like we need cards for you. And they says, well, you have the same shit, different day. You are beginning to see things a little bit more clear. And they said that something in your health care you need to change, which means you need to add something. And I'm asking exercise, food, water, alone time. There's something to do with learning how to be alone. And if you can be alone and stop the chattering in the mind and enjoy doing certain things you like, that's actually going to help your health in the long run. And I said, okay, what else? And they said that it's about grief. You look at life and there's a part of you, so you got grief work. So a part of you needs to work on grief, and that is how you see life, and you're interpreting it as grief, or you have particular grief that you need to resolve out. I would definitely say use some resolving tools for that, because you do not have to have that happen to you. One more card for the road, and it says you have to learn how to have support for yourself, because you're tiring yourself out, because you are definitely a support for other people. After that, you said it was Molly?
Yes.
For those that are in the YouTube, understand if you go and you email what you want to ask for, okay, that's free. The email is free. If you want to be on the show, then it's 6 minutes for $11. And my camera is backwards. How did that happen? Huh.
Which one?
No, it's weird. There's different perspectives today. That's definitely for sure. Good Lord. Molly, do you want this one? Molly. That's interesting. Did you say Molly had anything particular she said? Did you say, or did...
No, whatever.
They're saying pay attention to heavenly signs, heavenly signs. That means spirit is talking to you. And I said, okay, so what particular is this spirit? Someone from the other side, one person, and it's female, and they want to communicate with you, but you can't seem to feel their presence. So if you know who this is, just think their name. And if you're not freaked out by it, look for maybe, say, pennies, feathers, a particular song, and or comfort. If you all of a sudden you feel this overwhelming of comfort, then they really, really want to communicate in some form. They said that you may get pictures in your head, or all of a sudden you're looking at pictures and it'll trigger a feeling. Awkward? You make them awkward? No. Okay, so you feel awkward, and they can feel that. And they said that when you feel awkward, that you start to go into some sort of pain. It may not be physical, but it's some sort of pain. You're like, I don't want to go there. Something you don't want to remember. Okay, after who now? Sandy?
Tippy? Oh, yeah, Sandy. What's coming to her in love?
In love. Oh, okay. Sandy, sweetheart, we are going to take and look at this. Spirit is with us right now. We have three. I don't know. They look like triplets. I can't tell, but they look very young, and they could be boys. But all of a sudden, I feel they're very present, and they're saying, pick this card. What about it? They're saying reconciliation. Someone from your past is returning to your life. Okay, so they said pay attention to that, because there's something inside of you that you need to forgive. Doesn't necessarily mean you need to forgive them, but what did you need to learn from that ex being an ex? And that is very important, because then they said that it's about how you'll engage. And if you haven't resolved the issue with why the ex is an ex, then you're going to engage in that similar story as before. But then they said, if you learn how to separate yourself from that, then you will allow yourself to pay attention to the red flags, and that'll bring about that you're worth waiting for. That way you're creating more healthy boundaries. These are all the cards that were yours, just so you know. They have been exactly like I said. And so you have a nice little 6-card deck going on. All right, who's after now?
TP.
Melanie, what are you asking? US or Audi? She wants to pay again, or pay what? Oh, for a session? Well, it'll be the same address if you want to send it. Oh, duh, of course. So, from my understanding, the exchange rate, if you pay either way. You just because you'd only it'll cost you whatever the amount. I can't even think. It's numbers.
Okay,
Well, you can call it devious or not. The point is that doesn't matter. I have too many people that want something, and I want to honor them. So you don't have to be a part of it. It's not for you. So, no, for the live. It's whatever you want. Like, for instance, some people will pay in US, and the conversion rate, you pay the amount I'm asking, and then the conversion rate will happen because it costs more for the US, or it costs more. It doesn't cost you more. It's a conversion so that I get the equivalence of what you're paying. But if you pay in US, then I only see, you get the discount, and I only see sometimes not what I'm asking for, because if you put it under service, then it'll come out, yes. But if you put it under product, then it'll be way less than what I've asked for. Huh. I don't know who's that for. Who'd you say is next? My brain went off.
Teresa.
Teresa. TP. Okay, so that's who this is for?
Great.
Okay, so you've stopped having romantic feelings. Did you cut that off a long time ago? Because I'm curious about it. Yeah, it converts on PayPal. Just you don't have to figure that out. Whatever I'm asking, you type it in. And if you put it in under AUD, then the conversion rate will work out. It'll look like you've paid more, but you didn't. It's just how the math is. TP, they said that you have a bashful feeling about you. And that you've shut off those romantic feelings because it's like, I don't feel like anybody could love me. And yet there's a part of your heart that's blossoming, and they're saying that your past of this lofty energy from how you were treated from male figures in your family growing up has made it so that you believe that they're correct even though they're not, and that you feel male energy will attack you. So why should you open that heart? There's no reason you want to be vulnerable. And so then your body is holding on to a very the very nature of the vibration of how do you want to put it? It's disempowered and disapproved of. You're like, I'm waiting to be disapproved of. Oh, there it is. So your brain, your child part of you says love equals being disapproved of. And you being an adult, you're like, but I want love, but I don't want to have to equal it, be disapproved of. That is what that is, TP. And you need to hold L1D for that. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, L1D, left wrist, first position, nice and deep. Heal that out. Well, who do we have next?
Brittany Lynch, whatever.
Okay. So yeah. It is possible. Okay, so I was just reading something she had on there. Brittany was healing. She's been healing. Excellent. We'd like to hear that. That's so important. So, okay. So all of a sudden I want to be very scattered, which means I want to look here. I want to look there. I want to. And so I'm saying, is this part of what's happening with Brittany? And they said, well, yeah, because there's something about the energy. And I says, well, tell me more. And they said that you're doing really good as far as your security, but it can feel a little bit, is it around different things? Is it all the time? What is it about? Towards herself. So is this affected by the low self-esteem? No, she's got good self-esteem, except for the feeling of the old pattern of you of when you were 5, when you were afraid to go and step into spaces with people. I'm assuming, a classroom with other kids. There was this, a little bit, we're talking about old feeling. And they said that is part of habit. Now, where it sits is in the hips. It doesn't, so we have what's like an equator between us, energy above and energy below. And it looks like your energy's cut off. And so that energy of old that I just talked about sits into that first chakra and down the legs. I would definitely heal this out, but I also would do one step further, and that is called the belt flow. And then you take your hands and you start here and you slide it across all the way. And I would definitely touch yourself so that you can literally create a friction. And you go, where's my belt? Where's my belt? Where's my belt? And then you take your hand all the way, touching your leg all the way off your toe, on down the side of your leg, off your toe. And you do both sides. Where's my belt? Where's my belt? Where's my belt? Whoops, my pants fell down. And you do that several rounds. That's going to start creating an energy as above, so below, so that the energy can start moving up and down. Okay? I'm not quite yet gone yet. And so I'm here, Sharon. So it's only been 2 hours. But Wednesday, I'll be here at 1. So that means I will just be starting the show on, Thursday, not Wednesday. I'll just be starting the show on Thursday. My time, which would be Wednesday, your time. Okay. Next. Luann. I'm not sure which window, but yes, Luann.
Oh, Lillian.
Oh, Lillian. Yeah, it's Lillian. Yes. Lillian. Oh, yes.
Clean out your ears, Brenda?
Huh?
You need to clean out your ears?
No. So is that a sign? I swear I heard her say something else. So it's the conversion. Every time, is this a clue? Yes, for me? No, you. Lillian, gotcha. Thank you. Lillian, when you expand your energy, I think people can't quite hear what you're saying. They only interpret what they think they hear. You have also people that are very selective in what it is they want to hear. Does that make sense? And they said that when you're expanding, you're used to a consequence, if you break the rule. Interesting. So when they're resonating energy out that this is the way it's supposed to be, and you come in with that frequency of expanding who you are, because this is your space, then how do they react to you? Well, sometimes they react like they're surprised. And, apparently when people act surprised, your 9-year-old self made a self-imposed limitation that you don't want to get that reaction from people. You do? No, you don't. You don't. So then you contract your energy in. That's interesting, Lillian. It really is. Okay, who's next?
Delinda.
And who's after Delinda?
Danny, and she sent me an email that I sent to you.
All right, I got to find out where I can get it. So give me a second. Because I can't do it on that window. Oh, I might be able to. Okay. Lillian says, I feel like my energy is expanding, but I really don't care about the opinions. Exactly. Well, heal that out and you'll actually see that things will go smoother because they're a filter and they're an obstacle. Who'd you say is next? Delinda. And as my email is beginning to try to wake up.
Whatever spirit wants to say.
Okay, they said there's an overpowered energy that seems to be, you can feel it. Is it something that you're used to? No, you can feel it. Okay. So, Delinda, when you feel like there's an overpowered energy, they're saying, notice how you go into a reaction or into a behavior. And they said it's like an action call. It's an action call. And we'll point to it. There's an energy of feeling. Is it something you would do, or is it something they expect? Since that you felt it so many times and you can't solve it, you actually go into a sort of a depression, or you feel depressed by the outcome of that. And so they're saying, do pay attention to that, because then it becomes that it controls you. So then the emotion or your belief system controls you. So you're drawing people that have an ego persona, and there's a part of you that notices that they kind of want you to behave what they like how you to behave, to live the life. Hey, we're going to watch TV tonight. And then all of a sudden, you watch what they watch. There's something to do with the way you're looking at something. Does that make any sense? So look at the healing tool, tap it out. I would even do cord switching. That's on the medicinewomansolution.weebly.com under healing tools. Look under cord switching. You don't want to pull it. You don't want to cut it. You want to pull them out by the roots, if that makes any sense.
Because if you cut them, there's still that root, and that root can grow.
Exactly. And you don't need weeds to keep growing. So, Amy, why don't you draw a card for the group while I read this? Okay. So Amy's going to draw a card for the group, and then I will be right back. And for you in other TV and YouTube land, so just be patient and listen to Amy.
I pulled the friendship card. It says, call a friend. When you are mirrored with love, you see yourself clearly. And then the next card is the truth card. Tell the truth. It's the key to living an authentic life.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
In that truth of the friendship, I'm going to answer Danny, but I'm also going to talk about something. Okay, so we'll do it that way. when the truth about, speak your truth in a friendship, there is this part of you that, if you're an ego mindset, which means your emotions can take over, you lose your voice. I don't literally need to do it, people. Oh, Sharon's in the room. So what will happen is that you literally will go into out of sync mode, not flowing anymore. You're out of sync. And when you're out of sync, when you're just in the ego mindsets, when you try to speak your truth and you're out of sync, it's not going to be heard. It's not going to be received properly. It's going to be received through filters. So in your friendship, make sure that you are going to communicate in a very healthy timing, because you need to be more aligned. And if you're out of sync, go heal yourself, get that energy changed, and then you can go into more of alignment with that friend. And when you do, you'll be able to be seen and heard. But don't come out attacking. This is my truth. Say, this is, you got to find the correct language, the correct predicate to use. So if they are visual and you're auditory, you may say, can you see what I'm, can you hear what I'm seeing? Or, use, see, hear, things like this. Or feel isn't it kinesthetic. So learn a little bit more. But usually if you tap out the emotions going with you, you become more in sync with the person around you. And that's what's important. I'm going to take and bring in Sharon. Oops, we got to get the right view. There. All right, swap out, Aim. Hi.
Hi, Sharon.
Look at that. What'd you make on your head? What is that on your head? I like it. Yes. I could not find my headbands. I've been trying to find one all day. Yes, looks good. Well, let me unmute you so we can hear you. There we go. Say hello. Yes.
Hello, how are you?
Good. We got it. What can I do for you today, Miss Sharon?
Whatever Spirits wants me to know today.
Okay. First of all, did you do any of the healing that I suggested?
Some of it, yes.
Some of it.
Not all of it.
Not
Lots
all
of
of
work.
Okay. So first thing then is that if whatever points I gave you, write that down and then send it to me. And then I will tell you where you're at on the scale. And that way you can finish it out. There's no sense of sitting there, having to sit there and the roots grow back. Okay.
Okay.
So you've been hearing more clearly of spirit, have you?
Yes, I've been hearing more clearly, but now I'm getting like a white flash in my left eye. So I'm worried about becoming blind in that eye.
Okay. Energetically, you're going to have to take care of that. Now, the relationship of the self is that they're saying that this issue with the eye is a past life thing. And
Okay.
I'm looking it up. Now, when you do the healing, understand that, let's see, this left eye, the energy is not moving, and that is the kidney energy. So you still see yourself as an it. So the question is, who sees you as an it?
Everybody at work.
Okay. Yes. And so one of the things in your life in the past is that it's about learning your gifts and your abilities and learning how to commune with nature. So the gift of talking to people may not be the easiest because you're trying to have trust and faith. And I just pulled some past life cards, some trust and faith in that area. But you are also human. So what I'd like you to do is a healing with me and put it on a scale from 0 to 10. When we do this. So you're going to cover up whichever eye you want to start with. I don't care. Left or right. Which one do you want to start with? Very good. We just said that people see you as what?
An it.
An it. And you know what that feeling is. I want you to look at them. Just stare at them right now. On a scale from 0 to 10, how do you know that you're an it? You can see it, yes?
Yes.
And it's like a 10 or more? Ooh,
7.
You are, okay, now look at that very person that's very specific. It feels like a male.
Yep.
Now, is it still a 7 or is it higher?
9.
I say because he does a lot of gesture, there's little behaviors.
Right.
All right, now he's triggering this now of when you were 12 years old. There's a big one there. So you're going to keep looking, remove, transcend, let it go, let it go, let it go. Now deliberately switch and cover eyes. As you're looking through, look at the same people, get that number nice and high, look at him. What number is it?
10.
10. Now, notice that the left was not as strong as the right, but she has been blurring that left eye so she doesn't have to see it. So let's go a little bit further. Take a look at it. Now, there's a woman. Do they claim to be your friend and then just throws you off because they not really shown up?
Right.
All right. So you're going to look at it, remove, transcend, let it go, let it go. And I want you to pull the belief out. I want you to stop accepting this because it's just a little girl inside of you that says, oh my gosh. So we're going to preserve all the positive learnings. We're going to put them in that special place. Remove, transcend, let it go, switch eyes. Now as you look, go back to the same beginning. This one is with the guy. What number is this?
6.
6. It is coming down. Now, I want you to also look at that woman with that eye. What number is it?
5.
Ah, interesting. We're going to take and stare at it. And I want you to know it. I want you to look at all of the gestures, the vocals, whatever it is that makes you really know that you're an it. And dismissive, you're irrelevant, or they make you feel stupid. There you go. Remove, transcend, let it go, let it go, let it go. Now switch over and switch eyes. Go back to everything we just said, including that man and that woman. And you're like, oh, it was. Is it different?
Yes.
Okay. What number, when you look at him, what number is it?
4.
And what number is it when you look at her?
3.
And notice that you've done this. You are letting go of the picture because you're saying, it's okay, I can do this. We're going to remove, transcend, let it go. Switch eyes. Look at the pictures and give me numbers.
6 for him, 2 for her.
Ooh, so why is he high? I would say that this is a habit. You have to see men that way. Because now, now you're going to remove and transcend, let her go. But I want you to look and bring in any past men that have the same kind of signature the way he does. And there you go. You just lined up a few men, didn't you? I can see them.
Yep.
A lot of X's. Remove, transcend, let it go. Switch eyes. Switch eyes. Tell me, now when you look through this eye, is she still important?
1.
A 1. Let's finish that off. When you look it through and just remove, transcend, and pull out that emotion and say, oh, you know what? There's a party that says, but I don't know if I want to let it go completely because what if she does it again? Okay, it doesn't do you any good to save it. Unhook that thing and be done with it because you don't need to keep pulling her in. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Now look at those men. What's there?
Similar personalities, different people, different times, different ages.
And you're like, see, it's going to happen again. No, you don't need to collect the proof. Just unhook each one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unhook them all, including there's the other one, and there's your younger one. Ooh, boy, let's go back to a certain age. You had at 12 years old, you had a boy that was mean to you. Do you not?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, several. Even a man. We're going to unhook them. You're going to be done. So you know what? I take my power back. Take your power back. Take your power back. Take your power back. Let it go. Let go. Let their shit go. Take the shit off of you. Take the shit off of you. Remove, transcend, let it go. Switch eyes. When you look through that eye and you look at them again, tell me what you see.
Like a 4, 3, and a 7.
Finish it off. Pull it out. Notice that it's inside. Are they far away? Up close?
Farther away.
All right. Let's just make them disappear. Throw them in the back room. Shut the door. Whatever. Shrink that door. Make it disappear. Switch eyes. When you look through that eye, what do you see? What numbers?
3, 2,
Say be
1,
gone. Say be gone.
4.
Say be gone. Say be gone. And pull it out. Pull it out. Switch eyes.
Real small.
Real small. Number?
1, 2.
Okay. You keep playing with this, and this is how much the energy is going to be in play. So you're going to look at that, and you're just going to start switching eyes. And you're just going to just keep doing it on your own. Trust yourself. You're going to learn how to trust. Now switch eyes. And you're just going to switch, and you're going to keep looking at it, measure it, switch. You can do this. You can do this. This is her trusting her innate healing, because her innate healing's doing it all for herself. Oh, there's a switch. I just felt the switch. All right, what number we have?
1 and like a half.
Okay, so keep going, keep going, keep going. You can keep going. Now, normally, I would just tell you to finish it off on your own or come in and make an appointment. But she's one of my good friends, and now there's another shift. I felt it again. Keep going until it's 0. You can take and get rid of it altogether. That's the best part. There you go.
Squished.
What's that?
It said squished.
Squish, good. Okay, but what are the numbers now? Either I is 0? What do we got?
Zeros.
Okay. Be aware that when you get off the show, you're going to try to do it with colors. Okay.
Okay.
And then, you go to the healing tool is called sensory accessing.
Okay.
So it's medicinewomansolution.weebly.com. Look under healing tools and sensory accessing. I want you to pull it out, the color out. I want you to do the color, but I also want you to do it with sound.
Okay.
Because there's a part of you that we always hear with sound. That's actually kind of how we hear with, there's a whole stories and information on that. And if you can't do it, you know how to make an appointment with me, sweetie. And we can start pulling it out and get your body back. And then we probably could do some source point healing so you can start generating the energy in the correct direction. Okay? Good job.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I totally appreciate that. All right. Bye, hon.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
Okay. Who's next, Miss Aim?
Melanie has donated again.
Okay. Wonderful. Let me make sure that it's coming in. And get that taken care of. Did you write Danny? Is it better?
She hasn't said anything.
Okay. Maybe I made it too subtle. Did you have a timestamp on that? Go back at least 7 minutes, 8 minutes for it. But anyways, I did it in a subtle way. For her?
Yeah, I'll ask her.
Okay. While we're doing that is we're going to bring up Melanie. Okay, yes, I donated again. Curious on who are guides now. Okay, so that's hard to see if they're names, but the best part is that you have to remember. Now, see, if you played with me and actually communicated, then we could whittle it down even more because they're showing up. I'm not sure who these two people are. You have a group up here in the galactic. Their representation is of a group. Okay. And you had these two people, but these two people that are here, they came up as representatives. They cheated because I said it's only supposed to be one, but they both stood up and one spoke because they wanted me to really feel the feeling, which I understand. But you actually have different people that come and go. Now, when you are in a certain sleeping state, I swear you have an angel that literally comes through. You know how to pull in goddess energy and the intergalactic the multidimensional energies that you communicate with, they don't really have a name, and some of them don't even have it gendered. So they're androgynous. But the thing is they can be tree people. They can be just a consciousness that hasn't taken any form. That's the interesting part of how people communicate and guide, is that you have this whole realm that's above you. And it is this grid that where you can get how to get inventions, how to create ideas. And then, but these people, human souls, what are they? Galactics, their energies, their frequencies, their consciousness. But what happens is this energy is that they know that you can see and begin to hear those frequencies, that they go on the grid and then just start giving you ideas. So you are being guided through your guide safely and securely. I don't see any leaks. You know how to protect yourself. So you know how to go up and you can communicate, not just with specific, but with groups and off the grid. So to answer that question you're asking, it's not as easy as you want me to say, oh, it's Tom, Dick, and Harry. Because you get to have a relationship by saying the recognition of the frequency of a group. You can label it. You can feel that sometimes it's just pure consciousness. Like these ones create form, so this means that they were past loves, okay, or past people that have died. I've had people come through from a past life. You wouldn't have a clue who they are, but they're part of that soul group. They came through because, again, they don't play with the same rules that we do as humans. You have some mighty male energy standing tall, and that usually is the angels, the archangels, and all this. These are the no offense, but that's what they're called, is the White Brotherhood, and it was just the frequency of white light energy, and they are meant to be there. They are the angels that have come through on that plane of existence that have helped mankind in so many ways.
She said, so lots of astro travel, yes.
Do you remember your astral travel? You do it anyway. You go back into thought when you fall asleep. But if you start to remember, then you are taking more into your astral body, and you're able to remember with your consciousness a travel. Now, when you do that, just remember to be extra protective, because the astral plane can be very dirty. This is where people have carried a lot of their junk. People want to clean up the planet. They need to actually clean up the inner world. As they clean up their inner world, they actually begin to clean up the astral plane, which actually helps clean up the planets. You understand? Anything in spiritual world comes down into the physical. That's why you see it. And let's see. Any hot guys? You have someone up here. Well, I thought I was hot enough. Now you got the angels joking. That's hilarious. Okay, so it depends on how you reform as a hot guy. Because there's a guy over here, he looks like a twig. He says, well, I go with the male yang energy, but if you were to look at me as human, I'm just sticks. And I'm like, yeah, I can see that. So that's a tree energy form. He's laughing. So it depends on how you consider hot, because in his world, he's got some mighty limbs. And I'm not saying just, I'm not even going to go there. Just stop the joke. I'm not even going to go there. Just stop. No, I am not. Ha! Okay. I think you guys kind of know where that one is going. That's funny. Okay, so when it comes to, they said you're not remembering because you've suppressed. When you were about 2 years old, you felt, now you have, so do you feel like you've been taken? Do you feel like like they say, oh, you had an alien encounter and you were taken? Okay, well, at 2 years old, you remember something, but you don't remember something, so you suppressed it. So you had to do something on the planet you wanted to do, but at the same time, you had interacted. And then depends on how you define whether aliens are evil or bad, or that you have to deem them as that what they're doing is bad. But you have to understand we live in a land of illusion, which means that there are certain jobs that we need to do. So certain frequencies are different. And so when you come here and change that frequency, it can show up as a physical as it's bad, even though it's not bad. It's hard to define, but at 2 years old, you had a very specific memory, so you suppressed a lot. Now, if you can learn to come to terms with not having to be afraid of this, because your child part of you took it as that you were distressed. It didn't quite understand what was happening. Okay? But you got this. You really do. You know the next phase. You just have to go to sleep, and all of a sudden you're going to start doing some healing. You got this. And if not, you know how to make an appointment with me. Okay, I'm going to just double check. Anything to report, Aim?
No, other than
Danny said yes. She's healed. She wants to.
Yeah, she replied up here somewhere. Yeah, I'm needing to resolve with ego, she said.
Okay, so he's also more kinesthetic, and you're more auditory. Okay, so you'll have to find. See, and I was going to put that predicate list up soon into the classroom. He senses. You can type it out. You know, what is kinesthetics predicates? Hopefully it should pop up. You know, what you hear. So when you're talking, you're going to have to learn how to talk in his language, and if he's open, he's going to learn how to talk in your language. But if you can get past that, you got to hear. If you're stressed, now here's the problem, Danny. When you're stressed and you're auditory, you're going to hear between the lines, and you're going to hear your filters. You're going to hear your fears, and you're going to hear the high beta, and it may not be what is really being said. You have to get yourself out of the high beta. You got to get yourself back to the level of out of stress so that your auditory can actually hear the frequency without all of the filters and all of those negative emotions. Okay. Galactic kids, maybe? Oh, that's interesting. Getting a yes on that. All right. Any emails?
I don't believe so.
Okay, that's very good. Now,
Yep.
Oh, there is? Okay.
Maria, to hear from any deceased loved ones, please. Thank you.
Do you want her to have that deck? Okay. Say her name again so that everybody knows that she's next.
Yeah.
Who?
Maria.
Maria. Okay, the voice thing jumped. So Maria, if you're here, say yes, because your loved ones are here. Ah, goddess. Okay. Ooh. The first thing they want you to understand is that we're all connected. And because we're all connected, I'm just a thought away. And they are constantly sending you love signs through nature. Take something like the hummingbird was my sister, and so she comes across as a hummingbird. Somebody deliberately says, remember me by the happy memories we created. Now, they are also itching the side of my head. I don't know if that's just me? Now, did they have a skin condition, hair condition? They had a nervous condition. So whoever it is that had a nervous condition. Believe in yourself. We do. And these are very, very specific because they're saying, that they're there. Now, when I'm looking a little bit further, and they said you forgot to turn the timer on. Yeah, you did it intentionally. I know you did. There are 5 very specific people. 3 are male and 2 are female. One you definitely know. The other ones you may not remember. But they said that you need to look at sobriety. And it's not always about alcohol. You understand this? That there's sobriety. There's a little bit more into what is it that you need to sober up about? What do you need to face? What do you need? What is the pain that sits there? Because if the pain is sitting there and you don't want it, you're going to create a situation that's going to help you avoid that. And part of sobriety, whether it is some form of wanting whatever you use to keep you from it, that could be a distraction of procrastination, that can be a distraction of many things. Now, if I ask a little bit further, is there emotion that has to do with that? They said yes. You have repressed taking the blame. And that feeling, so it's a feeling nature that if somebody made you feel the blame, you're like, and you've kind of repressed it. Okay? You need to come to terms with that because it actually keeps your heart from wanting to be vulnerable. All right. Anybody else?
There's a newbie that just popped in on your phone. His name is Sean.
Hi, Sean. How are you? All right. So we will do that real quick now that we've wrapped up quite a bit. Then, Sean, we'll give you 1 minute. And then and I think somebody's in that other room too. Compelled. What are you compelled? You're compelled. And there's a part of you that actually causes you, feels like your feet are petrified, so they're not moving. So sometimes you will start stumbling when you don't mean to do it. And there's a form of self-abuse. So you deliberately be like a martyr. You give up your space. It's, you know, it's an act of kindness, but there's a part of you that, you know, was taught that I need to actually deprive myself so others can be happy. And that is not very healthy from what I can feel. What's that?
He's wondering if his relationship will last.
And the question is, will that relationship last? Based on what I just said, they said that it, you know, it is or could be. So do you know what unrequited love is? And they said, if at any point that you feel like you love them more than they love you, then understand that needs to be addressed, because you don't need to be the it in relationship and you don't need to do all the work. And if you are being the martyr, then you are going to create a situation where it is that you're giving more than you're receiving. And this person may want to receive. And may want to give, because if they're good at receiving, but they may want to give. You don't want to create unhealthy boundaries. So let them give to you. Let them, yes, I would definitely say you just, there's something there. So the giving and receiving you need to look at. Now, goddess, well, there's a goddess 1. We're at the end of the show, so you don't need to send an email. Okay, so they said that you're not able to express your love the way that you would like. And this is for goddess 1. And if I look and I ask why, they said that you've trained yourself to be, it's from a little girl, that you're wishy-washy about it. So you reserve. So some type of vulnerability occurred. And they said that it become an auto response. There's a part of you that, wow, that affects my breathing. There's like a fear of judgment somewhere. It literally is collapsing my chest. They said that you need to release the past, whether it is an ex or a male from the past, a father, or whatever. There is some type of feelings that you had, something that happened in particular that you need to release. And they said it is what made you go wishy-washy. Because when you were yourself, it didn't matter. You had to learn how to, I'm getting nauseous, to toe the line, to get in line. That's the word. It's an old feeling. It's not of the now. It's an old feeling. Let's look at that. It's an old feeling. So if you ever felt this before, if you relate to it being in the past before, understand your soul is telling you that that's something that you need to address, because it could affect the future. Anybody else? Aha.
Me.
Miss Aim. Now, I don't know how much you paid, but did you pay for a reading for yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we will go there. You're welcome, Melanie. Oh, before I do that, can I do this one?
Yeah.
There's what is that? Shia Brown? Yeah, I could do that one. All right, Shia. You've been thinking and contemplating about something. And they said that as soon as you do, you come to an indecisive feeling, and then you go off, and then you come back and you do it again. So I feel like you're in a loop. But the answer you really want to do is that, you know, if you do it, then somebody may hold contempt towards you. And it's because when you were 2 years old, you had that. You made a decision and somebody had contempt for you. If you don't know what contempt is, please look it up. Even if you think you do, look it up anyway. And so what happens is then that 2-year-old inner child becomes petrified and affects the way you make decisions as an adult. And then if you're prone to panic attacks, understand it's related to this moment there, and that you can actually begin to get control of it. Now, they said that a lot of times they will get to you. They get to me is what I hear. They get to me. So somebody in the past got to you and they know how to manipulate you. You need to wake up to the triggers, heal those out, wake up to the way the language is, and you disrupt that by, I'm going to respond this way. You tap that out, you change that, use a healing tool, and then you can lose the effects of how they have control over it. But first you have to become aware of it. Okay, I feel like, see, Goddess says, yes, makes sense. I feel like I can't express myself. Yes. Okay, good. So now, on to you, my dear. Anything specific? We apparently have stomach issues or something going on. Okay, so your body immediately is like going, whoa. Okay, and my back's twitching and doing stuff. My head feels. Oh, it's funny. Yeah, very funny. Yeah, it's funny because it feels like you're on medicine. So is medicine influencing this? Is a feeling of what medicine felt like before influencing it? So your brain is remembering how medicine felt like before, and it just prevents you from being depressed. So what do we want to heal? You want to heal the depression? You want to heal the pay attention. It's what she did to herself. That's why that's kicked in. Gotcha. What do you do to yourself? Oh, Amy, Google, what is apathy?
Hey, Google, what is apathy?
And?
Indifferent or lacking emotion, often a sign of depression or misuse of alcohol or drugs.
So do you feel like you're indifferent to yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, so she needs to go into, she does, you're trying to, did I say avoid apathy? You're trying to avoid going into depression? No, wait. What words did I just say? That's why it's important to remember what I said. I said because you're suppressed. You're compelled, correct. Hold on, we've got a whole thing that's coming through. Lofty ass people. Oh, well, there's a nice picture you just brought up. Lofty ass people. I mean, it's very specific. So, Danny's Google responded. Because the next thing out of their mouth is criticism. And you're like, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. So I'm going to just become indifferent to that. Now your brain says, I have to do this because I know that the fear of judgment's coming. I know that I do. So there's a part of you that says, I don't want to endure it. No, it's what you do to yourself. What you do to yourself is that you don't want to feel helpless when that person's around. So you've been wrestling with healing that out. And now you've coming more to the surface, that funny feeling. You're almost afraid that when that lofty person comes, you're like, what about me? Because that's all you feel from them is, what about me? I got a life, damn it. Now you're asking me to do this. And a part of you is like, why do you want to be a part of my life? Honestly, if I'm nothing to you,
right?
But then there'll be an argument. Oh, you're everything to me. But then why do you treat me like an it? So you're not able to have that conversation. Nor do you want it. But you still
stand any of it.
But you still expose yourself to it based on your finances. So you're trapped. And this is the archetype, the prostitute card, without realizing it. Now, I'm not calling you a prostitute. You need to know what archetypes are. Look that up. But the idea of how to grow out, we all have a prostitute card, a saboteur card, and a victim card, and a child card. How you're waking up and healing those are what's important. Turn the damn thing on, they said. Mother was trying to get more out of me.
Thanks, Mom.
Why? Because I noticed my hair and I kept looking at my hair. I'm not touching it. I'm arguing with myself. Oh, but you're so good at pouting. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. I'm good at pouting.
Okay. So that's your go-to coping tool, yes?
Yes.
Does it get you anything?
No.
Hold on. How did you end up getting help anyway?
I probably pouted.
Okay. So you have learned how to survive. You have learned how to have grown. But now you're saying, your soul is saying, I want to grow out of that. Can I just skip all that and just go to the end and be, la? No. Because if you don't understand how you do things, and you're going to pick up your baggage and try to move into that new spot and No, they're just going to be pushing you back. You ever had a dream where that hallway just keeps going on and on and on? Well, it'd be an elevator backwards. You're just going to repeat it. So what you're doing is you're taking the past and putting it over and putting it in the now. And then that's your future because you can't see your way out of it. So how would we want to heal this is that they said that you know what worthless feels like. Is that true?
Oh, yeah.
So you need to hold R3S. They said because ever since you were conceived, you felt unworthy to be born, unworthy to stay with your mother. And then when you got over here, you felt like you were unworthy to be the daughter because you were second best. Again, we've worked through this. This is nothing new to her. So this isn't insulting her at all.
No.
But it's still pretty much your identity. Now we're really healing backwards to get to those roots. They said your triple warmer goes off and you're like, oh my God, as soon as they blah, 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 with a normal conversation. But if I heard it, I would be able to hear that they're actually making you feel worthless. And because I could see that no matter what they're saying, you're receiving it through this filter. And there's only one way that they can show up to you, and that's no other way than you let them. Now, as we look a little deeper, they said, you're almost afraid to say, what about me? Because there's a consequence. If you took the risk and said, what about me? They beat you down, yes?
Yes.
Now go backwards when you were little, not to blame anybody, but how did the little self, the inner self, see the big adult people around her, including every part of the group? Did they beat you down in some way with words, looks? That's what you're... See, and that's why you're depressed. Because you don't want to feel it anymore. They're saying that they want you to not only hold L3S, but you're going to move into L3D. And they said that you know that their charm is actually criticism, and their criticism is actually to control you. So now you're waking up a little bit more about how your triggers control you. And you're also going to look at how you need to, as you're holding your points, how pouting was the only way that they would. So what did pouting give you? Did they actually acknowledge you? Did they stop bitching and try to control you? How did pouting help?
They stopped and paid a little bit of attention to me.
Okay. So remember, you want to heal the pain before you heal that. And when you heal the pain, will she want to heal the pouting? Yeah. So they said that's your go-to. So you're going to hold R2D. And that's when you're in stress. That's part of what you do. Fight, flight, freeze, and you pout because it's a part of that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now, energetically, you need to balance yourself. So you need to do some Wayne Cook. You need to do a crown pull. And then you're going to hold the points. Okay. When you're done, please do the hookup afterwards. And when you're in healing all this, and when you're done, before you do the hookup, and then turn around and do the Celtic weave and the connecting heaven and earth, then do the hookup again, because you're going to have to practice the zip up in your mind, so that when you have the lofty person come into your space, no matter who it is, you're zipping up literally in your mind, training your body to put it on this situation that I am protected. And once you start to build that up inside of you, then you're going to be creating this particular part of you energetically that doesn't allow other people's energies in to sway you one way or the other. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And so in the room of the, see, I don't know if anybody's here, but Vanetta Jean, are you still there? It's interesting how people come and go in the middle of a reading. If you are still in the YouTube land and you still want a reading, then you need to say, yes, I'm here, so that I know that you still want it. This is why we take readings, emails, because according to this, I see no one. But according to the board, people have asked. Thank you. You like my outfit? A little bit old today. Yep. And Miss Amy, oops, over there, Miss Amy, she's making me a neck. So you see this? So I will probably should have a yellow one and an orange one. See, look at that one. Isn't that pretty? I'm excited. That means I'm going to get something from Minnesota. See, look, I already have earrings to match that, unless you want to make those other kind. I could have more than one pair, you know.
Arlen,
Wink, wink, wink.
I have to get some more beads.
Yeah. So Vanetta, if you're not there, so I don't see it. And then Mr. Mystique, Lena, say I don't see them there. Danny liked it. So I feel like I'm going to check the rooms one more time. If there's anybody else that wants a reading, a free minute free reading, you need to let me know so that I can. Otherwise, it's all time for me to go. You guys have been really great, and I'm very thankful that you honored me and that I could honor you back, and we've had a really good time. And thank you very much for your feedback, because it's so important to know. You know, the sound earlier was terrible. I'll hear it later when I do some editing. Okay. Like, again, I don't see anybody in that room. I don't see anybody there. And we're good there. Okay, you guys. Now, you know what I always say. Resolve to evolve.
Heal instead of deal.
You can heal that. And guess what? Stay blessed. Oh, stop, Brenda. No, I got to do my outro. Oh, you guys have been great. Thank you. And we will end this. We'll talk to you soon. And thank you.